Hi everyone, welcome to the first 1-stitch, 2-stitch sewing kits. This is the supplementary video that'll come with the instructions on what we're making this month, which is a whale. And in the kit, you will have 2 whale bodies. You will have 2 whale fins. No, 3, 2. And you will have 2 whale bellies. So you'll want to take those pieces out first. So there should be 6 in total, 2 of each. The whale belly is white, the whale fin's blue, and the whale body is also blue. You're going to get a little bit of thread. I know it's probably really hard to see from this angle, but when we switch angles, when we get sewing, you'll see better. And you'll get, ooh, I put it right in the middle of the table, 1 sewing needle, so very careful. I recommend doing this with a grown-up or an older person, just in case, but I'm new to sewing. Maybe some of you are already sewing experts, since I'm new, and I definitely already made one, but I'll be making one again on camera with you, just to show some of the tying the knot to the needle and some of the stitches and where to start first. But this video is just acting again as a supplementary to the instructions. If you already know what you're doing, you don't even need to see this video, and maybe you will never see it, which is absolutely fine. So we're gonna get started. We're gonna change angles and you'll see my hands here, and we're gonna go through some of our sewing kit. Okay, welcome back to the video. This is probably the hardest part, is tying your thread, this blue thread, into your needle. So you're just gonna want to, there's a little eye in the needle, in the middle of the needle at the top, and you're going to carefully take the thread and push it through the eye of the needle. Tie it once, twice, however many times, as long as you tie it once, and there is a knot around your thread. Okay, so now your needle, you can cut off with the scissors a little extra here. I would have a scissor handy because you'll be cutting a few different times and making knots. Okay, so if you just cut this here, snip, snip. Okay, and the first step that you want to do is you'll grab one of your whale bellies and you'll put the fin right in the middle. And we're going to sew the fin on so that it doesn't move, it doesn't go anywhere. We're gonna sew it right on there. And you're gonna do the same thing for the other side. So then once it's both sewed, we'll have kind of little bellies like this, and then we'll eventually sew the bellies together, but let's not jump ahead, as I often do. So we're gonna take our thread, and again, you're gonna wanna knot it at the bottom. So we knotted it through the needle here. We're going to tie a knot on the bottom so that there is something for the thread to stick and it doesn't go all the way through, because then it's not sewing anything together. The needle is just going through with the thread and the thread is just coming right out of the sewing kit. I like to double knot. So you see we have that double knot right there. Let's see if I could put it up by the whale. So we have that double knot right there that will prevent the entirety of the thread to come through. So here, I'm gonna go through the back. So you're gonna wanna stick the needle through the belly, kind of right in the center there, and carefully go all the way through, bring all your thread through until it gets stuck. So it's still going, oh, okay. So you give it a little tug, it's stuck, it's not coming out, but don't tug too hard because it will come through. It will just rip right through the felt. So we have the knot there. You can cut off this excess. And then you're gonna wanna just do the same thing overhand, except we're gonna go through the blue first, and then we're coming through the back of the belly there. And you're gonna, again, wanna take your needle, oops, and my knot came undone. Well, that's fine. So if that ever happens and your needle comes right through, All you have to do is just put your thread through the needle again and knot it back up. So I'm glad I at least got to show you that. So if your needle comes undone, do not worry. You could always tie it back together. And the good thing with sewing is that you can, if you don't like your stitch, you can just redo it over and over and over again. Second time, we're gonna go right through the belly until it gets right nice and snug. Okay, and now the fin will not go anywhere. It is attached to the belly with that one thread, that one stitch. If you want, you can add a second stitch. So you'll go through the back and go up at the top. And then again, you'll pull your needle all the way through. So now there's one stitch on the back and one stitch on the front. So, and when you're done, I'm gonna go through one more time. So through the fin to the back, that third stitch. And then again, you'll pull your needle all the way through. So now there's one stitch on the back and one stitch on the front. So, and when you're done, I'm gonna go through one more time. So through the fin to the back, to that third stitch, just to make sure it's nice and snug. All right. And what I like to do when we're done sewing a section, I like to snip a little bit extra here. If I can cut, okay. And now we're going to tie a knot to make sure that this stitching will stay put. And it does not come undone. We have it. We have the knot at the bottom here. So, and you could just cut off the excess thread. And just like the excess thread at the beginning. Okay. And you're gonna wanna repeat this step on your other whale belly and fin. Okay, so welcome back. Once we're done with the whale fins, we're gonna take our bodies and we're gonna place it right over the stitch of the whale fin. You'll see a little bit of white peeking out, but you want it to kind of have just like this. And we're going to sew the whale bottom along that line to the belly. And we're gonna do that with both sides, but this is a careful step. You wanna make sure that your whales they look mirrored, just like this. So when we sew both of these together, we'll take these two whales and then we sew them together before we add the stuffing. So you want it to look just like this, mirrored. It's okay if you have the fin on the other side, but this is a crucial step. Otherwise you'll have two L's going this way. And if you try to sew them together, the fin will be right in the middle, which is not where we want it. And it will look like this, which is not what we want to look like. So again, just like this, we want it to be mirrored. Okay. Okay, so we're back with the two whales. Again, mirrored each other, so they're all sewed. So now you're gonna wanna place the whales on top of each other, just like this, so that they match. And we're gonna have, whoops, a little bit of thread sticking out there. And we're going to sew these two whales together, completely together. So this also is gonna be one of the longest steps. My recommendation is to start right at the top with the tail here and work your way all around. And we're gonna do the whole outside of the whale. You'll lift up the fin and you'll do the belly area, and then watch out for the other fin on the other side. So you lift up the fins. You're gonna stitch all the way until we're at the top here. And when we're at the top there is when we're gonna add the stuffing. So, and it could be the same exact stitching as the whales on top of each other on the belly, or it could be a loop stitch. I'm gonna do a loop stitch, or a whip stitch, I think it's called. So we're gonna go through the two whales there. there. So, and then I'm gonna go around right at the top through the. Okay, and so I'm back. Stitching isn't perfect, but again, I'm new at this, so, and I got it. So I'm sure some of you will have amazing, perfect looking whales. So we're right at the top where we have to sew the top onto the whale. So you'll take the stuffing and you'll slowly stuff the whale. Ooh, you can break off little bits and you can just stuff it until it gets this nice plump shape. You can get in all the crevices. You can try and reach up and get the tail. You can ball it up. You can do whatever you want. You just don't want to overstuff your whale, because if you do, then it will be very hard to put together and finish the seams, and they'll pop out. But if you think you can add more of the stuffing, you can always open the seam and you can go in and then resew it. So this looks like a good amount of stuffing. The tail might need a little bit less. Let me take out a little bit. And then you just finish the whip stitch and you just close up the whale until it is done. So then the stuffing won't be sticking out and you'll have a completed whale. And then for the last features, you can use any sort of markers or anything that you want to express your creativity and make a face for the whale. You can use anything you'd like that would stick onto the fabric. You could even use stickers. You can use whatever you want. So I know it definitely looks a little bit half finished, because it's still a work in progress. But again, you'll just take that and you'll do the whip stitch until you close up the whale. And again, you don't want to overstuff it, because then it'll be harder to stitch together, and then the stitches might pop because it's too overstuffed. Okay, so that's all for me today for the 1-stitch, 2-stitch sewing kit. I hope you guys enjoy this craft. We have a few more coming up. Hopefully I get better at sewing. And really the one thing about this craft is the patience. Patience is key. Take your time. You don't have to rush it like I tried to do with mine. You could definitely tell it looks rushed. But again, patience is key, and I hope you enjoy, and please send me pictures of your completed whales and if you decorated them and whatever you did to make them unique. And I'd love to see how they turn out. I'm sure they're gonna look so much better than mine here. But again, this was just a little video to help go with the instructions, just in case anyone was a bit confused. Or if you needed a good laugh. I hope I gave that to you today. So be on the lookout for more crafts, and I'll see everyone soon.